Alright, we can go all 2022 Batman, not talking to anybody, being fully lone wolf, but let me pose a question to you. Is that really, when you think about the man that God placed you to be in your heart, is that really the best version of you? Because while you or aura farming, saying, "Oh, I can't talk to the girl. I gotta look friggin' cool," and like your beady eyes are like looking back at her, and like she can friggin' see it. I already spoke to her, and I'm clapping them cheeks. And let's go. To say that like in a way that will get you actually kind of angry, because you should be kind of angry. I'm saying this because the truth is that the high testosterone grug caveman that literally is pretty freaking autistic and isn't as smart as you. Your problem is, by the way, that you're too smart, you're overthinking way too much, and you're thinking about scripting, and then when you think about what to say, and then you go talk to the girl, or you go talk to the guy, you come off as needy because it's obvious that you've scripted it in your head. So I want you to understand that, most of all, you're having these social problems because you're too friggin' smart and you're getting in your own way. So think about the retarded autistic caveman grug. I'll draw a picture for him so that you can understand. You think caveman grug cares if you like him? He's just going to talk to you if he wants to talk to you. If he doesn't want to talk to you, he won't talk to you. He doesn't overthink it. And think about it like this. Testosterone levels have gone down like about 50% in the last 50 years. And the truth is, imagine how it was in caveman times when things were the most competitive, and testosterone exists for competition. I want you to understand that your hormones influence the thoughts you think, and the thoughts you think influence the actions you take. And so really think about this. If testosterone exists for competition and risk-taking enhances your testosterone levels, then how do you take risks? How could you actually take a risk and influence your testosterone levels? Well, there's gambling, but we don't want to really fully do that. I mean, we can do freaking crypto, but that's like normalized gambling. But really, what you can do is you can speak to other people, because they're technically, to tell you the truth, there is a chance of rejection, of social rejection, in terms of either from women or from actual other people who, let's say, don't want to speak to you. But the truth is, like I said, if your intellect is getting in the way, really what's happening is that you come across as being needy. You thought of what to say in your head, and now it sounds like you're a robot and you're reading off a script, and you don't have the emotions correctly. You might have stumbled across on your words, thinking about like some freaking, some people are actually really cringy. They do like these anime character things, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll trip and my books are gonna fall on the floor, and then she's gonna help me pick them up, and then as we're picking it up, we're gonna look at each other in the eye, and we're gonna have this calm, serene moment of understanding, and our love is gonna blossom. That's what these guys are thinking. And the truth is, reality, you can't anticipate it. Reality is spontaneous. And that's the ultimate thing I want you to take away from this. The ultimate high testosterone social chat enjoyer, grug, he is spontaneous. He's not scripting these little things for him to say. He's saying the first thing that comes to his mind. He's talking about what he wants to talk about, and then because he's interested in the conversation and he's relating it to the other person, now it's a conversation where everybody's interested, because he's saying like, okay, man, I'm so sore from like doing this bicep variation, man. Like, have you tried something like that? Like, what do you do for biceps? He's related it to the other person, and nobody usually gets to talk about these kinds of things. And not only do you actually attract the people that want to talk about what you're wanting to talk about, but you also repel the people who aren't compatible with you. This is such an important thing to stress, because the high testosterone caveman enjoyer, social enjoyer, he doesn't really care about how he's coming across, because he's comfortable with himself. And that is the biggest thing, because spontaneity comes with comfort. Spontaneity comes with trusting that you are just going to make the right decisions, you're going to say the right thing, and you're not going to go to jail because of what you say. So, all of that together, I want you to understand that you will probably not say something that puts you in jail, because like you're a good person, so you don't really need to worry about that. And so if you just turn off your brain and you can just make a simple observation, and I'm going to tell you like full implementation, like how you can do this. This is the unpatched method, and it has worked 100% of the time. I'm serious. It's never not worked for me, and I've been able to approach hundreds of people, and I haven't had a problem with it, and it's been able to enhance not only my confidence, my social skills, my attraction from women, just a number of things, including my testosterone, and fuels my gym gains. Like, friggin' look at that wingspan. Am I right, bro? So because Caveman Grug does not care what people think of him because he's a Chad, he talks as if people care. You know, he just speaks because he's interested, so why wouldn't they be interested? And so what that means is he projects his voice in a way that people actually respect him. People actually see that he's talking with conviction and excited about what he's talking about, and it's magnetic because people want, it doesn't really matter what you're actually talking about, it matters kind of the emotions you give to other people. That's the most important thing I want you to understand. So talk as if the other people from other conversations could hear you, because honestly, they probably aren't, but the fact that you're speaking loud can actually convey a form of respect, a form of security within yourself. So if you need to be autistic about it and need to actually think, okay, how do I look like I'm secure? How do I fake this? Bro, just be secure. Like turn off your brain. This is like, you don't need to really think about it. Just assume that you will be okay. Assume that your brain will come up with the right things for you to actually have a relationship with somebody and make a friendship and all that stuff. So I want to give you an actionable implementation. And this, again, is unpatched method. Literally works 100% of the time. It's crazy how much this works. All right. By the way, if you want to optimize your testosterone, your hormones, and actually act and take actions that are good, congruent to your goals, and make sure that you actually have success in life, because your hormones influence your thoughts, which influence your impact on the world. First link in the description. I just finished my full super soldier method, and that will increase your hormones, increase your bench press 100 pounds just like me, even if you're plateaued like I was. So just a quick thing. So step one, as you're approaching the person, you want to wave, as in like this, and like just, give them a smile, like, say, hey, what's up, good morning, It's not that weird, because think about it like this. Imagine if you were thinking about what to say, and then they were walking, and then you just freaking came up behind them and tapped them on the shoulder. Of course they're gonna be like freaking freaked out and like look at you like, oh yeah, hey, what's up? And you're gonna come across weird because you just scripted them. And what this does also is it puts them on a pedestal. What you're doing by doing this is saying you're better than me and you're actually worth more than me, because I wanted to speak to you and I thought about what to say to you so that you would like me, because I need you to like me. That's what that conveys. It conveys you being a lesser person than them. And that's like, it's not really fair, and it's like we wish that wouldn't happen. And it honestly, even if you're not thinking about it, it might just happen subconsciously, because we are animals that come from a social hierarchy, and again, competition exists for testosterone. If you are higher up in the social hierarchy, you'll make more money, you'll have more resources, and you'll have more attraction from people. So biggest thing, show security, is to, like, if they're walking up to you or if they're in your like general direction, if you really go crazy with this, if you get really a lot more advanced, you can actually like yell and like say, hey, what's up, to somebody when they're not looking. But dude, that's so freaking risky. I've like done it a couple of times, and sometimes they really just don't hear. But yeah, that's just how it is. So biggest thing, if you want to have actually 100% accuracy while they're like walking up towards you, or while you're in their vision, even if they're wearing headphones and everything, don't be afraid to disturb them. Just make sure don't do this if you're at the gym and they're like mid-set, because that's just, come on man, that's just not fair. And so what you want to do is, if you're coming up to them, you just want to like wave, or if they're coming up to you in your general direction and you're in their vicinity and you're their peripheral vision, you just want to wave and smile, and you just like say good morning, say the first thing that comes to your head. And really, with all of this, it's not that creepy, because you're just a human being, and yeah, like you can say hi to the people in your community, that's totally fine. What's the next step though? Make an observation. Now, it doesn't need to be an intellectual observation. You actually probably shouldn't. You should, honestly, like I said, the actual content of what you say doesn't really matter. Like, let's say somebody's doing like leg extensions in the gym. You can just say, oh, are you training legs? Or something like that, like, obviously. But it doesn't matter what you say. It just matters, you just like brighten their day, you can just, and it's really just the first thing that comes to your head. It's just an observation. It's like, let's say if someone was wearing like fully pink, you can say, wow, you're really pink. And then it would like start up a conversation. The other thing is if somebody, let's say, was like, I don't know, just hanging out doing some random thing where they had like a red shirt on and say, wow, your shirt's really red. It's like you don't have to be smart about it. It's just like making any form of observation, like literally single digit IQ observation. That helps the best. And what you want to do is, oh yeah, by the way, there's like a method for this. If you don't want to actually have a full conversation, there's this headphones method. And I really recommend this because it can actually help you get into a social flow state without actually needing to have a conversation. Because sometimes you just don't feel like having a conversation, but you also want to be social. You know, it's nice like that too, because testosterone also makes you want to be more social with your community because you have a higher self-esteem, something like that. And also you just want to have more relationships. So the headphones method is when you have headphones on, let's say you're walking or something like that, you just have them on, you just move them like this, and it decreases even more friction too, because you could say, hey dude, I don't know, your watch or something, or like, shit, nice shoes or something like that, whatever comes to mind. Like those just came to my mind, and then you can put back your headphones and then just like continue walking, something like that. It doesn't need to be that crazy. And let me tell you what, sometimes they're not going to notice you the first time. And this is totally fine. I'm going to tell you this story of when I first started really implementing this method consciously. I went onto the bus and I was thinking like, okay, if there's somebody on the bus, I'm going to friggin' talk to them. And so I went onto the bus. I said like hi to the bus driver, like it's a really good day, right? And so then like bus driver smiled, so I'm walking. And like I go to my seat, right? I just like sit at the back of the bus because it's nice. And I go there and I just see like some guy over there. So I just like, I have all my stuff ready. Like I was just about to listen to music. And so this is why I thought I'd just like realize the headphone method is kind of like overpowered too. But anyways, I was just about to listen to music and I'm going to sit down. I already sat down. And then without even thinking, I just let my body just move because I'm a human being. I like left myself and I walked towards the guy. And I kind of sat down into a seat that was close to him and I waved to him and said, hey dude, good morning, what's up? And then he didn't see. He was like wearing headphones and everything. He was like locked in on his phone. I want you to understand this. A lot of people are socially inept. They don't really understand the right way to actually act, or they're not actually conscious of other people or their surroundings. This is just how life is right now because of like the internet and everything. And that's not actually that bad. They're just not ready for you to speak. They're not ready for you to actually be there and be in their life. So really what you want to do is you just, I don't know, get their attention. Like what I literally did. And sure, you might say, oh man, but not everybody wants you to get up in their personal space. I don't care. I wasn't thinking. Who cares? I'm a human being. Anyways, so this guy's like, I went up to him and I freaking like literally like tapped him on the leg, and then I think he looks up at me, and then I said, hey, what's up, dude? And like I noticed him from the gym. Like it just happens, right? It just so happens. Like even if I didn't notice him from the gym, I would have thought of something else. I said, hey, do you go to Gold's? And then he said, oh yeah, I think I've seen you around. And the thing is, it could have been just an awkward thing where I just say, hey man, what's up? And he doesn't answer and I go back to my seat. That could have easily happened. But what ended up really happening is I made a new friend and we talked the rest of the ride there. And the guy was totally freaking cool. All I really said to start is like, man, I noticed when I walked in, like, you go to Gold's, right? I noticed like your legs are freaking massive. I'm trying to get to 405 squat, you know, things I'm interested in, my goals. And we just started snowballing a conversation and it was pretty effortless. It was really easy. And so that's the biggest piece of advice I could give you. So yeah, just make sure, make an observation. You can also use the headphones strategy if you don't really want to have a full conversation. And then if you want to cultivate an actual friendship, like you really want to actually, like, I don't know, you need to be the initiator. So you just, after a couple times you've seen them around, you can just invite them. Like let's say, like around this area that you usually see them, you can say, hey, you know, I'm actually just gonna go get a coffee before this, like as a pre-workout. Do you want to come? Like there's the coffee place really near us. You can just say something like that and they might just say yeah. Or you can even say, hey, yo, you want to go like same time tomorrow, like to the gym? And then they might say like, you know, great, yeah, I'd love to. And even if they don't, even if they say, oh, I'm busy, okay, like another day. And if they say, oh, I can't another day, they just don't like you, man. And so what? You're pretty cool. So like, who cares? And so, yeah, because really think about it. The best version of you is probably pretty social and has good relationships and makes people have a brighter day. So why would you let somebody change your energy even though you're giving your gift to the world. I really want you to think about that. Like, why would you let somebody like change your energy? Now, all of this together, you can go into the idea of like the black pill, where it's like, oh, it's only looks that matter, and nothing else matters. If I talk to someone and I don't look attractive, then they're not going to want to talk to me. To an extent, that is true, but I'll tell you what, nobody really cares about looks, because not everybody is model status, and it's really just the way you carry yourself, the beliefs you have about yourself, that will influence that. And again, testosterone will make you have a higher self-regard, and so then that will also rub off on other people. That's also important to understand. And I guess the other piece of advice that I can give you is that actually, you know what, I think that's it. That's pretty good. I think that we covered pretty much everything. Just invite people, like wave, like smile, like say, hey, what's up? Like and when you wave, they'll see you. By the way, if you don't wave, then they might think that you're talking to someone like behind them or something like that, because it's kind of like weird. Not everybody actually talks to the people in our community, which is really odd, because it used to be so different. People used to actually acknowledge other people. So they'll appreciate that you actually spoke to them. They'll think about you long after, like not even long after. They'll probably forget about you. Think about it like this. If you have a good interaction with them, they'll remember you for a long time. And if you have a bad interaction with them, it was kind of awkward, they're going to forget it by like the next day. Literally, just forget it like that fast. Of course, this depends on how bad it was, but come on, dude. Like, what's bad's gonna happen? And of course, if you want to think about like the black pill route, looks are everything. No, looks aren't everything, but also you shouldn't really be. You should be working on yourself, is what I'm saying. You shouldn't be talking about like weird things. I don't know. You want to make sure you're a human being with actual goals, and you're not just at home like alone, like every day, like not really doing anything, not striving for anything, because then what are you going to talk about that's interesting? That's the big thing. So I just want to say that again, if you want to optimize your hormones, your testosterone, your estrogen correctly in the correct balance, because estrogen isn't evil, testosterone is not the only thing that you want to optimize. All of these hormones actually influence your mind, which influence your actions in the world, which influences your success. Now, if you want to optimize your hormones and also get like stronger, jacked, and also aesthetic, lean, all those things together, check the first link in the description below, because that is my full system, and I have just finished it, and I'm continue adding more and more stuff with time. So check the link in the description. Like the video, bro.